Welcome back to Just Fun Stuff. It's time to start speed building our island again, but before we get started, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another upload. With that being said, let's get today started. Alright, we're getting right to it. We are doing the museum. Now, not the museum itself, just the area around it, and we're starting by making the biggest base. I'm basically making a giant square, like half moon shape going all the way around the base of the museum, kind of tucking it in, nestling it in, because as you can see, there is absolutely no ground around it. It's just kind of sitting in the middle of nowhere. This was probably the longest part of the museum build, just getting the actual base up. But what I wanted to do was make it big enough so that I could put a second layer up and then start carving away at it to start making the shape. So that's what's going on right now. Like I had said when I was tearing down the island, I really wanted to add a lot more terraforming to the island. We didn't do a lot of that before. We did a lot of really cool builds, really interesting, fun builds, but we didn't do as much with the terraforming. I'm still learning, and that's what I'm doing here. It's still learning. It's trial and error. It's trying to make a shape, see if we can make it work. All right, next up, second layer. Just again, making basic shapes, thinking about what we can do with the shapes, and then we're gonna carve them out afterwards and decorate them as well. The terraforming for the top I find a lot trickier than the bottom. The bottom, you can just make it big, you can make it wide, but you have to be very specific with the top. The game only lets you put so many in so many places, so it got a little tricky trying to make the shapes and trying to get the look that I was going for, but I think we achieved it. There we go. We're already carving out shapes, seeing how we want it to go up, and it already looks so much more natural. All right, next comes our waterways. I didn't want them to be really symmetrical. I want them to look fairly natural, and it's, again, not that easy to do, but I think that we, in the end, accomplished that. There she goes. She's working really hard. Once we have the waterways in, then it's all about the decorating. I love that. I love the U-shaped streams. I think they look really good. That took me a long time to practice, so I'm really happy it turned out as well as it did. There we go. Most of the waterways are done now. Now it's just basic shaping, and already it's starting to look really, really nice. Really happy with the way that that's turning out. There she goes, almost done. Done. I think that looks great. So now it's just filling up pockets with as many things as we can to start actually decorating up top where we terraformed. Now I wanted it to look really rustic and really natural. That's the theme I think we're gonna go with on the island. Before, it was more kind of whatever. It was playful, it was fun, and I think it's still, we're gonna stay in that playful fun direction, but we're gonna go a lot more natural with it too. I love the mush items, so I'll be using as many of those as I can. There we go. The natural look, just, it looks so serene and so beautiful, and I think it goes so well with the museum. If you remember before, we did our museum and it was completely tropical. That was our theme, and it looked amazing. But like I said, we tore down the island. We're going with a whole new direction. This is the first build, and I think it gives a really good idea of what's to come. Like I said, a lot more terraforming, a lot more path work, a lot more customs. That's what we're going for. And I think we're achieving that right now. I think this is starting to really shape up and look really, really good. All right, now it's just little details and trees. Collecting trees all over the island. No trees have any purpose anywhere. As you can see, there's literally nothing around the island. So taking trees from anywhere and everywhere doesn't affect anything. This museum is obviously in the very, very, very far back, in the right of the island, as far back as you can go. And that's our starting point. Like I said, we're going to start at the back of the island and work our way forward. We're going to integrate the villagers' houses as we go. This is step one. This is our first area in the very back corner. So it's going to set the precedent for the rest of the island, I think. All right, here comes pathwork. And oh, paths are the bane of my existence. They look so beautiful, but they are so complicated and time-consuming. Now, well worth it when you're done. When you have a really nice path put out, I think it makes all the difference in the world, especially if you're going with a really natural look like this. The brown earth path, I think, really pulls it all together, although I've seen some really nice brick paths as well, custom paths, that I might try to integrate into other areas. I just don't know how, where, and when yet, because I really don't know what we're doing with the rest of the island yet. Like I said, this is build number 1 on Newfoundland. But I think it's coming along really, really nicely. Pathwork. Oh, pathwork. It's rough. But look at how beautiful it looks. Once you start filling in the gaps and making the actual path, I think it looks stunning. Beautiful. Look at that. Done. Now it's just adding little bits and pieces here and there. Kind of ties it together. I love those stone stairs. That's the look, anyway, that it's supposed to be. I don't know if that custom of the rocks there leading up to the museum is supposed to be stairs, but that's the purpose in me putting them there. I think that they look like stairs. There we go, adding a few more decorations. Now, this was fun. Doing this stream, I wanted to connect the stream to where, if you remember, this is where Deirdre's house used to be. And her house is surrounded by the little moat, and it has the little bridge. I wanted to bring the stream all the way from the terraformed area by the museum down to the little moat that was surrounding the little island. But I didn't want it to be like I used to do it. When I used to do streams, it used to just be squares everywhere. I worked really hard and practiced trying to get it wavy, and I think we have accomplished that. I think we've come a long way in our stream building. I think it looks really good. Now it's just all about the details. Trying to add all the trees, add all the flowers, add all the bushes. Like I said, very natural approach. All the decorations. Oh, I love the butterfly models. The big butterfly models. They look so good. Grand Atlas. That's probably my favorite. It looks amazing. As you can see, very, 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 very rustic looking. Molly's already over there checking it out. Over here, just a little seating area. Like I said, this isn't just the museum, it's the museum and area. I wanted to create the entire space for the museum and area around it. Now, this was just a little kind of add-on. I used to have the false bridge, if you remember, going behind the museum. I got rid of that, obviously, when I tore everything down. I kind of wanted to pay homage to that and put a little connecting bridge so that you can get on to the back of the terraformed area if you feel the need. Look at the water, look at shooting stars. So we just kind of put in our own little, not quite false bridge, but just connecting the land a little bit. I thought it looked really, really nice. And I love using those jail bars. I think they look great for everything, and I think it makes a nice backdrop to our museum. All right, now it's just collecting, filling pockets, getting everything we can to finish decorating this area. This little space beside the museum that we created, it's gonna kind of be a really rustic seating area. There's gonna be the mush table, I believe. Yes. Lots of butterflies, very, very rustic, very cute. More plants. And there you have it. It is completed. Very rustic, very nice looking, our new Terraform museum. Thank you so much for watching this speed build with me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will definitely see you in the next video.